maximize the ability to end the game with that card.
All right, so who do you think is going to win? Is Matt Nass going to remain undefeated?
I think the overall power level of Matt's deck is just a little bit higher, and the different ways that he has to get through to Alan's life total using the Magmakins are going to go a long way, I think. So I'm going to opt for the blue-red deck, but this is going to be a really tight one.
Ooh, I'm excited to see this match. It's time for round number 10. I'm going to pass the baton to Ailey and Corey.
Thank you so much, Maria. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 10. It is the second round of draft for the day, and we are super excited to watch this matchup because this deck looks absolutely insane. Matt Nass drafted a heater, Corey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Highlighted by those Draconautics Engineers. I mean, such a phenomenal card. Yeah. You can get it down early, and your opponent doesn't have a lot of removal, which Alan Wu doesn't. But Alan's deck, of course, looks really strong, and he's a phenomenal player as well. So, yeah, going to be a great one.
Yeah, absolutely no slouch here up against Matt Nass in the form of Alan Wu. So will Alan be able to tie things up here in terms of our tournament leader, or is it going to be the Matt Nass just gassing all the way to the top 8 today?
Yeah, I guess. We're going to find out. And Alan has been on quite a heater as well here not too long ago at the regional championship here in Portland. You know, made it to the Pro Tour for Las Vegas as well. So he has been just absolutely crushing it as of late. And he's got all the momentum here for sure.
Absolutely. Country roads to start things off there for Alan Wu. Getting those tap lands down early. That market as well.
And we were talking all about the Draconautics Engineers, but there is still a Boommobile, which is phenomenal rare here in this set as well.
This is a sick deck, you know.
Matt's got a nice one.
In terms of what you want to be doing with the Izza deck or the blue-red deck, this is pretty much it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
nice.
a lot of really, really strong cards here in Matt Nass's deck.
Riptide Gearhulk off the top there for Alan, so he'll be working his way towards that, which will be sweet. And we start to see the artillerists line up here.
Ooh, and Alan drew the land off the top, didn't have a 4th land, so that was huge, especially when you got 2 5-drops that you very much want to get down. Does need the second white source so far to be able to get the Gearhulk going, but any land allows you to cast the draw too.
Flood the engine, taking care of the artillerist for the time being. So won't be doing any dinging when Matt Nass inevitably starts cycling. So just land go for now. Has a crash and burn in hand, a trip up, as well as the broadside barrage. So plenty to do and not running to run out the Boommobile just yet.
Yeah, and just a pass, drew the 7-drop. Of course, you know, that is cheaper with the affinity to artifacts. But, yeah, not great here. Alan really wanted a land to be able to push his advantage before Matt gets a battlefield going.
So 2 trip-ups, this is like a control matchup.
Yes,
go.
I love it.
Land go.
Matt didn't want to just play the Boommobile for really no value here. Wants to be able to kill a creature the turn you play it.
Voyager Quick Welder, making all the artifacts cheaper, and Matt Nass doesn't want any of that, so gonna attempt to kill it, but the bounce off is going to bring it back to Alan's hand.
And that does prevent the loot from the barrage, so no extra value there.
What you got against loot, huh?
I guess.
He's so cute.
The thing is Matt didn't really want to discard any of the cards in his hand, so he's probably okay with it, but this is a phenomenal play.
All right, now we're cooking.
Now, no matter what, we're going to be able to get this 2/2 plus the 4/4 flyer, and, you know, the main ways that Alan has to deal with this, there's some Ride's End in the deck, but being able to just bounce the 4/4 flyer as he has 2 bounce off is a good plan, but got rid of one of them here to save Alan's creature.
Yeah. Hull Drifter hits the board here, getting some cards out. Unfortunately, like its predecessors, the Mull Drifter and the Null Drifter, it's not a creature just yet.
Yep, poor Mull Drifter definitely got a bit of a downgrade here, I would say, in this.
But as you mentioned, we do now have a dragon hanging out on the board, and no real way to deal with it cleanly just yet. There's Collision Course and Ride's End, but those require a little bit of work to get going.
Let's just pedal to the metal here, giving every creature haste plus pumping up the Draconautics Engineer, and everything looking great here for Matt to try to remain undefeated here at the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and he's got the deck to do it, honestly.
Yes. Yeah, his deck is sweet. Now, that being said, Alan does have Riptide Gearhulk ready to go for this turn as one of the options, and just a plethora of other things. The Ride's End only costs 2 on any of these creatures. Being able to get rid of that dragon is great. Just Riptide Gearhulking away the dragon is perfectly fine, too.
Yeah, that seems probably where he's going to go for this turn.
Yeah, more than likely. Just 5 mana, kill a dragon, have a really big creature to defend. Now, that being said, I believe there was another deal 5 from Matt's side. The Broadside Barrage number 2.
Yeah, this does have prowess, so if we have mana available...
Yeah, we got one available.
One blue, but not really anything to cast with that.
Oh, and I think we did just top deck the Monument.
Oh,
yes, so
all
time to
right,
get some
let's
stuff
go.
going.
Cycle.
So here is Matt debating, okay, if you do have a 1 mana spell, which open deck list, Matt knows the possibility is the other bounce off, but decides that the risk was worth it.
Yeah.
Lose 1 from this and lose 3 from this.
Oh, wow, just going hyper aggressive here.
Another 4 down to 3.
Yeah, and now that just represents any cycle, any discard, and this Monument just finishes the game here.
Yeah, like Monty was saying at the news desk, you know, there's so many different ways to attack the life total of the opponents that Matt Nass doesn't even have to do it through combat, but you know, he's just got multiple options open to him right now.
Yep, absolutely. And the Boommobile can just go face as well, so this will be all ready to go, unless Alan has some incredible way to come back here.
Okay, Collision Course dealing with the Monument, and then Ride's End dealing with a creature. Hang on for dear life.
Just shows the Boommobile. Wow. Just an incredible draw from Matt. You know, Matt wasn't really doing anything to progress the battlefield, and then you just draw 1 Draconautics Engineer, and you're able to put 6 power onto the battlefield for 6 mana.
That's cool.
And diversify the threats. That was really the changing moment of that game.
Sweet game there between these two players. Matt Nass, you know, never really looked out of the driver's seat for that one. So game 2, here we go.
Table Alpha, starting game 2.
All right. Good-ish opening hands from both players. Matt having a 5-lander and then drawing land 6 is always kind of brutal.
Yeah.
And then just kind of has the medium start. But it is a good curve of being able to play a 2-drop into a 3.
Yeah.
And at least it blocks the links, you know? Like, anytime... Ooh, nice top deck.
Very nice.
Anytime that links can attack, get a land, and you know it's going to attack next turn as well, you always feel really far behind.
So the saddle up for the Lynx, going to go and find a Plains and gain some life here as well for Alan. So good start for him.
Yeah, so it looks like Matt is just recognizing there's not a lot of ways to deal with this Engineer, but, you know, definitely could have played the 3-1 to be able to block it here if you wanted, but...
Keen Buccaneer of his own hits the board to join the Engineer.
So it doesn't look like Alan has any removal right now for the Draconautics, but does have just the ability to bounce the dragon whenever that comes around. And with the best card to bounce, the Roadside Blowout is a pretty aptly named when you hit a token, that's for sure.
No, that's sweet because it's just the 1 blue. It's only sorcery speed, so, you know, you don't get to do the gotcha, but it is a pretty big blowout indeed.
Exactly.
Keen Buccaneer.
Okay, 4 damage.
Getting frisky. Does Alan want to respond anyhow?
Actually, this is fine. So
Just debating if you want to exhaust and loot here or just play this optimizer. And then you can start doing the loot to get rid of all these extra planes that you've been searching up.
Yeah.
Now it feels like Matt's very much going to want to just put a 4/4 into play as a blocker so he can at least shut down combat for 1 turn.
This interface ace, you know, it looks very innocuous, or don't worry about it, you know, but a 0/4 being able to crew almost anything.
Yeah, crew and
twice
then
on a
untap.
turn. Yeah, it's It can be pretty nasty if we see a bunch of vehicles hit the board here for Alan.
Yeah, I think the most important part in Alan's deck with that card is just the 4 toughness to be
Yeah.
able to get to the late game where he has a very robust plan. But also the free saddles, free crews definitely comes up. And it's an artifact, so affinity for artifact helps you out there. Ooh, okay, so Alan has a nice little play that's possible here if he wants to go for it. It would mean a lot of his resources, but you can collision course on the Draconautics Engineer, force the action to put the dragon into play, and then bounce it. Otherwise, Alan won't be able to bounce the dragon until his next turn. So this is a way to really get the value here.
Nice. So engineer down, dragon left behind, and dragon is dealt with immediately. So things looking excellent here for Alan Wu.
Do this thing again. Attack, trigger. You take 2.
Here we go. No risk of the Glory Heath Lynx dying, so...
And a pretty solid top deck there with the Riptide Gearhulk, and we do have the second blue to be
Nice.
able to activate thanks to that artifact, but otherwise it's all planes here. So this game's looking great for Alan.
Yeah. Okay, another Magmakin Artillerist.
Ooh, I think that was Monument off
Oh,
the
and
top.
a Monument too.
Okay, that was big. I was going to say Matt's draw so far is just a lot of the, more filler cards
Yeah.
of his deck.
All the fluff,
Obviously,
yeah.
the Draconautics not necessarily filler, but that was something he very much needed to be
Yeah.
able to do something a little extra.
Choice here between a Magmakin or the Monument.
Yeah, so it feels like, does Matt want to get the Monument down or get both creatures down? And if you're going to Monument, you probably want to just exhaust right now.
Yeah.
and get the value, but that does play pretty well into Alan's Gearhulk here, as that'll bounce the only threat. So that is probably what Matt's thinking, like, wow, the tempo I lose here, if this one creature gets bounced or Ride's End or Gearhulk is the worst scenario, then all of a sudden, you have 6 damage coming in, maybe 7, and you could be put a little too far behind.
Go.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit close here for Matt Nass. Another Magmakin Artillerist, a King Buccaneer.
Another great top deck there, being able to have another piece of removal, but I think it's just Windmill Slam the Gearhulk here, crew up the Lynx, and get in for a large chunk of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, and it
Okay.
goes.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Top, third, and 12.
Okay.
All right, so Alan determining that is the bigger threat, passing the turn back. So maybe it feels like Matt got away with something there.
Yeah, maybe. I suppose if Alan had a blue source that didn't involve his artifact,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
maybe you want to start getting aggressive, because then you get to pressure, 6 points of life. But now, since it's only 4, Alan's just wanting to get rid of the more powerful
Sure.
card for now.
The one that could definitely,
Yeah.
tip Matt over the edge.
Yeah, and Keen Buccaneer, if you get the value again, that's an upside for Matt, for
Yeah.
sure.
So we can get both of the artillerists out now. If Matt Nass so chooses. I'd be so tempted. Just
Yeah.
start cycling things and dinging the heck out of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's just, get a bunch of toughness on the battlefield, you
Yeah.
know. And Matt's hand is 3 of their
Yeah.
artillerists.
That's 12 toughness right there.
There we go. Yeah, and I mean, getting 2 creatures on the battlefield here and getting enough toughness down is great, because if this Gearhulk can ever connect after you play like 2 spells,
Yeah.
that is a large chunk of your life total. And it's just really impossible to draw, or really impossible to block that card.
Yeah. And now I guess the next question is, how many artillerists are you dumping on the board, and are you going to cycle any?
Yep. It's that extra loot through 1 land, and then the Matrix, I believe.
Guideline Matrix, rock hard.
Yep.
Okay.
And that triggers prowess as well. So then the Flood the Engines, if Alan wants to do that, triggers prowess, and now you have a 4-power double
3,
striker.
Jesus.
There's no taking down that Gearhulk.
Ooh.
Yeah, too tempting here, because you basically force a chump block. You can take 8, but you do get put into a bit of a rough spot.
Yeah, that is rough indeed.
casting this for sure.
Okay.
Definitely casting it, so it's not a... Oh, forget you saw that.
Yep.
Just has to be the almost exhausted.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to combat.
Lynx
This
stays
is
back.
5.
You could go with the Lynx if you wanted.
Played Guide Light.
Or sorry, 4. Sorry, 4.
You played
Yeah,
Guide Light
Flood
and
Damage.
Flood.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know he exhausted.
4.
I thought it was a thing, but it's not. Okay.
And I think it's pretty safe to attack with
5,
everything
3,
here.
4, 3, 11 damage.
As the only bad block would be like double blocking the Lynx,
Yeah.
and then Matt doesn't lose any creatures, but take 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is the exchange, and maybe Matt would take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now there's just no blocks.
this.
You probably just have to take 8 here.
And
And be sad about it.
Yeah, just a little. But it doesn't feel like Matt's doing enough now, because even if he's setting up here nicely
I'll-
for, you know, all the Magmakins on the board,
Yeah.
as well as, you know, the discard, it's not going to do anything. Look at his life
Yeah.
total. Alan Wu's sitting at 26.
He needs a broadside barrage, like right now. That would be great to deal with the Gear Hulk.
Yeah.
Or, you know, another
Crash
Draconautic.
and burn.
Okay, I
That'll
mean, that's
do.
great. And now I believe the Monument is the next card, so you have that to plan around.
Yeah.
So Matt basically had to draw a removal spell now for the Gear
Yeah.
Hulk, because you know you're not drawing it next turn. So, I mean, that's really huge.
That was a great draw there.
I mean, I think it just seems like a slam. Crash and burn the Gear Hulk, play your 3/1 for now, and then save your cyclers for next turn when you have the Monument going.
And Alan's tapped out, so no, you know,
Yeah.
potential
Could have the
prowess
bounce.
trigger.
Could have
Oh, no,
one.
he doesn't one up.
Yeah.
deal 6.
Doesn't have the unsummon at any point is
Yeah.
just so brutal.
Jeez, yeah. Nice. All right, so problem dealt with. Androtic Catalyzer hits the board, and 2 Magmakins hang out in hand for Matt Nass. On the other side of things, Guidelight Optimizer, not really what you want to be drawing at this point. Did Alan get anything else of interest?
We have Sucklift's vehicle here,
Oh, it's
the Marshall's Pathfinder. I mean, that was a really nice draw. Just having a big body here to be able to get through is really strong. You have the basically free ways to crew it with the Matrix, and the Ace can help out as well. So a really nice draw.
I don't think we're ever going to see the exhaust on this guy, but
Not from this deck, that's for sure.
so if that's Marshall's card, which is yours?
You know, they haven't made a Corey's anything yet,
What
you
about
know?
what about the Broadcast Rambler?
Wow, harsh, very harsh. That's a
To
good
be
one.
fair, you do a lot of speaking. That's because you know all the things.
Okay, I am a rambler. I can agree. Ooh, there
Ooh, I don't like
is the Draconautics Engineer.
Oh, sick.
That is going to be huge.
Think about what to do with the other part. I think I'm gonna draw.
Probably just draw. Yep. You could get a treasure and then you could cycle again, but I would think just getting the value here. Alan's life total's too far, so you're definitely not doing the 3 damage thing. And drew a 1-drop to play here at least,
It's dynamite.
Play this.
which is not bad.
and
It's a good jump blocker.
Yeah.
Ping off one of these 1 toughness creatures on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, now you can put your End Rider Catalyzer and your 1/1, your Dynamite Diver in front of the 6/5 and actually take it down.
Yeah.
So, you know, your 2 worst creatures can take down Alan Wu's biggest threat right now. But,
Oh.
there is a nice one. One good draw deserves another. Alan really needed that.
Yeah.
Really needed something here.
That is a big one. Guidelight Pathmaker.
Oh,
I
that
wonder
was
what he can
huge.
find with it, though.
Can't find the Gear Hulk. It's basically a Gear Hulk finder, but just
Yeah.
gets the
get to
classic
hand if
Hull
it's
Drifter.
bigger.
Yeah, it just goes to hand if it's bigger, but if it's a 2-drop, you just put it right into play. So no land to play this right now, but another huge body
Yeah.
that essentially draws you 3 cards as you get the Hull Drifter plus the 2 cards that
Yeah,
brings. So
that's
a
sweet.
huge draw for Alan.
Sure.
Battlefield getting pretty congested now.
Yep.
And Croon summon here?
Yep, we're getting Marshall's Pathfinder going.
And 6/5 and no trample or anything.
6/5, no
I'll-
trample. There's a little dynamite bud that just got squished.
Just goes for the chump block here, doesn't want to try to take it down.
Does he not do 1 damage somewhere?
It did. It took
It
down the 2-1. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But didn't want to pair that. Oh man, broadside barrage as well. Like Matt has a lot of great options here. I mean, it's hard to just deny casting your engineer and making a 4/4 flyer here. Whenever that's one of your options and you don't immediately slam it, you know you have a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah. Also the draw and
I'll
discard
cycle this,
off the
so you
barrage.
take
Yep.
2, my engines go to 3, and then I draw for the cycle. I think I'll draw for this. as
Draw
well.
again. Yeah, he's digging.
Yep.
At this point, it's going to become a game of who's got the most cards, who can do the most things on a
Well,
turn.
and
Yeah, and if Matt Nass can deal with these artifacts, and this is a real risk here with Matt playing this Draconautics Engineer. You know, if Alan can find a Rides End or something and can deal with it before you have the ability to exhaust this for your 4/4 Dragon, like that will be something Matt might regret for sure if Alan's able to find that.
Well, Alan's going to be tapping carefully here, making sure to leave up options. Hull Drifter is the 1 card in hand. Not sure what he's drawn just yet.
So, and start with Hull Drifter and leave up 4 mana, so that way if you do find land 5 and one of the 2 Rides Ends,
Diamonds are 3.
that should still be in the deck from Alan. You can deal with
the 3, I
it,
have 3 mana up, yeah.
but if you don't tap your 2/1 to be able to pay for that Hull Drifter, that
Yeah.
would be off the table. So I like that he's starting with that.
Nice. All right,
How's the whole drifter?
Yeah.
Hull Drifter, draw 2. What is that other card in hand?
Looks like one of our gold cards, maybe Voyage Home.
Cycle Night Market.
Night Market,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah,
And,
okay.
Kilorna, the 0/8.
Yeah, not the most exciting of draws, but did just draw one of the bounce offs. So even
Oh,
with the
nice,
dragon
okay.
coming down, you have that 1 mana way to kill a dragon, which is perfectly reasonable. Now we'll see how aggressive we want to get. Now Matt does have this barrage all ready to go to deal with one of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Do this thing.
Ooh, but the one thing that can be brutal, if he goes to barrage the 6/5, the path maker,
Yeah.
These
and you get to bounce that and get the value, that's brutal.
Oh.
If you bounce the Marshall's Pathfinder, that's bad,
I'll
but
deal 5.
yeah, smart
Okay,
play by
nice. All right, so it's not as bad. It's
Yeah.
not a big of blowout. Matt Nass does lose out on the draw and the discards, so
Matt. Yep. But now that does mean that dragon is good to go
Yeah.
here. Yeah, you definitely have to double block. You have to try to kill it. Chump blocking at this point is not great.
yeah.
You want to be able to 2-for-1 yourself. I mean, 2-for-1 is a little extreme.
Yeah,
That card
I'll
found
double.
so many cards.
Yeah,
it's a
that's-
solid 5-for-1 here. That was incredible.
That card's a bit of a beater, and luckily Matt has the power in the deck and the creatures to be able to deal with it, and 2 islands in hand.
Yep, there we go. There's the bricks a little bit here.
That's
Now,
rough.
Matt does have the ability of, putting a dragon into play, giving it haste, but Matt is firmly in the defensive here and needs to be holding back to find more cyclers,
Yeah,
more
because
things to do.
now there's aerial threats too with a Hull Drifter on the
go.
boards.
Yep.
No dragon for now, at least not on Matt's turn.
Yep.
Gets to see another card.
I would say this battlefield still is pretty stable.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, what are we
Another great
finding?
draw. You can find Hull
Let's see.
Drifter number 2.
Yeah. I'm pretty much guessing that's where we're gonna go.
Yeah, that seems like the thing to be starting with.
Because the Gear Hulk is gone already. Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't go. Okay. Doesn't fetch from graveyard.
God, that card would be so good. It already is so good.
It's already pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, this has been a great match.
It has. Yeah. And it's only game 2. We might get 3.
Alan firmly in control here, that's
Absolutely,
for
yeah.
sure.
Islands.
Seeing what's left in deck, at some point Alan does have to worry about decking. His deck draws a ton of cards.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's not anywhere near that at the moment, but
Yeah.
is going to
Yeah.
Find the Hell Drifter, draw 2 more cards. One of those look like an island. Ugh.
Oh,
What is with
okay.
these islands?
That is about as bad as it gets. So no more pressure coming from Alan, as you know, the only card in hand has, well, 8 toughness.
Yeah,
Can imagine how much power it has.
that card needs
Dragon, and I'll pump this.
Arcades or something along those lines to
Yeah.
make a hit with its toughness.
Yeah, there you go. And another island from Matt.
Too many islands in this stream. Come on.
Wow.
I'll play a land.
Jeez.
And I'll pass to you.
Okay, big draw for Alan. See if he can push the advantage at all. And if you
Rides
can
End.
just deal, okay, that should do it. You can Rides End the dragon and just
Okay.
attack for 6 in the air and
Yeah.
end this game. And we're gonna have a game 3 between
Jeez.
these two.
Okay.
Good combat.
Brutal.
Everything. 4
You know,
blocks.
I don't like it when a game ends with just top deck lands, but, you know, at least we get to see a cool combat trick with Rides End here,
Yeah.
taking care of the dragon, and in for 6 with the Hull Drifters.
Yeah, and to be fair, Alan, you know, did draw drew just about as many lands
yeah.
as Matt. He just drew so many more cards. That card advantage truly took down that game.
Yeah, and I guess that's the fragility with the cycle deck as well. If you run out of cycles and you don't have an engine on the board,
Yeah.
and nothing else going for you, you're just top
Exactly.
decking. One
And then-
card a turn isn't going to do it.
Exactly. All right, a mulligan to 6 from Alan here. This is going to be
Red.
Matt on
Good.
the play.
Oof, that's a nice curve.
Yes.
Jeez. Optimizer, so you can ramp into the Riptide Gear Hulk, a snack off the top, and then Transit Mage to go and fetch a big idiot from the deck. Yeah, that seems pretty good for Alan.
And Matt's hand is just as good. You know, having the engineer plus the vehicle to be able to do some looting to get all your draws set up.
Nice.
Very strong. I did see the collision course for Alan, but you need to get some creatures down. And yeah, Alan does not have land 3, and like no way to draw any cards or anything. So yeah, Alan very much needs a draw right now. And Matt Nass correctly didn't attack there.
Yeah.
I mean, correctly in the sense like doesn't want to lose to Rides End. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
But the island off the top for Alan is so huge.
Alrighty, we got a game here, friends.
All that
Transit
being
Mage. Let's go find.
all that being said, Matt does get to just, you know, play, exhaust, get the dragon out, and attack for 3 next turn no matter what. Just on surface value with what he has in play.
Yeah. Alan luckily finding the island, so has more to do with the turn besides just, you know, collision coursing the artifact, for
Yeah.
example.
And
I'll,
Matt should be able to take that fetch, you know, as a very clear sign like, oh, you already have Gear Hulk in hand. There's no way you don't get that first
Yeah.
if you don't, so.
I'll discard. Okay.
Giving away
The monuments as
secrets.
well.
Oh. So just
this
the
guy.
sloop getting in.
Take 3 down to 17.
And now I think, yeah, this is the correct play. Make sure to just pass and exhaust, because if Alan drew a land, could go Optimizer and Collision course the Draco Nautix Engineer, so, and drew it. So good play by Matt, getting the value where he can.
If you're just joining us, Matt Nass is our undefeated player here at 9-0. Collision course dealing with our boosted sloop. And
There
dragon on the
is the
instep.
dragon. And now has the ability to play one of the 3 drops and give it haste and get in a big attack, let's
Yeah.
say with this Keen Buccaneer.
It's pretty sweet.
And then have a barrage to follow up. That's pretty tempting, especially because you get all the value from the engineer, where it would be a 3-3 and it would have to be double blocked by Alan. So looks like Matt wants to get more value, but that would have been a really aggressive, nice play as well.
211.
He's just getting in there. I like it.
This guy.
Follows up with the 2-2 flyer. Just let me remind myself of his name. There it is. Sabotage Strategist.
Okay, Gear Hulk was huge, very much needed.
Boing. This poor dragon has been bounced so much.
Yeah,
Got
Alan.
motion sickness.
Alan does have 4 ways to bounce tokens and stuff, so very strong
Yeah.
there. Now we're probably going to see this barrage immediately. Well, Alan's tapped out and you don't have any ability to deal with it. Do some cycling if you want.
Absolutely. So it does just that. What does he want to ditch? Has he played a land for turn yet?
Hasn't played a land. Probably, yeah, just getting that automaton into the yard. then can attack. The block is pretty bad as you have the ability to make this a 3-3.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then turn, possible turn back.
And now Alan's down to 5, with Matt for sure having the ability to play Monument and cycle immediately to deal 4. So Alan is, okay, Alan's at 6 right now, so Alan's at an effective 2.
That's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, and then a Monument is going to stick around. So.
All right, here's a flying blocker at least for the strategist.
Yeah, not dead immediately, but that is crew 3. Actually,
Yeah.
I think we are just dead immediately
yeah.
unless we have a bounce off.
Let's see if we found one. Is it in hand? Oh, yeah.
It is,
Yeah,
okay, so we're still
not dead
playing.
yet.
You do not want to bounce the engineer, that's for sure. Resetting those.
Yeah,
is
that would
really
be
brutal.
that would be rough.
And then the voyage home to be able to gain some life can help you get out of immediate range of this monument, but still huge advantage to Matt Nass.
Combat.
Yeah, 3 cards and 3 life. If you can get that for just 2 mana, you are very happy indeed.
Yep.
Blocks.
Okay, so here's the block. If Alan doesn't cast Bounce Off right now, the game is over and Matt Nass is going to go to 10-0 because he's down to 3, no way to interact.
Oh, he's going to
And
go
that's
for it. That is going to do it. Matt Nass getting the win with a Monument to Endurance and remains our undefeated player in this Pro Tour. That was sweet.
That was sweet, I gotta say. I mean, Matt's deck is awesome. Alan drafted a really nice one as well, and anyone who loves to draw cards, which it's gotta be all of us.
Yes,
if we,
if we're honest, yeah.
If you're a Magic player here, but wow, Matt Nass's deck is incredible. I'm excited to see if he can get the trophy this next round.
I'm excited too, friends. We are going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to join in Matt Sperling versus Lucas Duchow in game number 2. So do not go anywhere. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Ether Drift here in a chilly Chicago, Illinois. I'm Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister, and we're in round 10 of competition, and we're enjoying the MagicCon that is happening at the same time as the Pro Tour. We're also enjoying limited because it is such a cool format, Corey.
Yeah, I've been
Turning
loving
things
it.
sideways.
I absolutely love this format. It's so much fun having a nice slow format where you got a lot of things you can do in the game, draw a
Sunday
bunch of
drive,
cards. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ether Drift.
We have more Magic to show you from our feature match area, and we're going to jump in here to game 2. It's Matt Sperling up against Lucas Duchow. Both excellent players, but Matt Sperling is on a bit of a rampage because he wants to make sure that his limited record this time around doesn't replicate the 1-for-1 that he got at Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah.
That was his downfall, unfortunately. He went 10-0 in Constructed, but Draft is where things fell apart.
Yeah.
So, if he can get that part right, I think he's in a pretty good shape this weekend.
Yeah, and he was 10-0 and constructed with everyone's favorite flying creature from that Pro Tour. Not Nadu, it was
Nadu,
Gristlebrand.
no. It was, yeah.
He was doing a lot of Goryo's Vengeance, Gristlebrand shenanigans.
And you know what he
That
did?
one.
You know what he did after he went 10-0?
Huh.
He gave the deck to one Kai Buddha and said, "Here, go play the PTQ." And Kai went 5-0 with that. So.
Just imagine being in a PTQ, you're 4-0, and you're like, oh, who am I going to play to make it to the Pro Tour?
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
just the greatest pro
Yeah.
player of all time. No big deal.
Just one German juggernaut, no big deal.
So looking at these two deck lists from Matt and Lucas, they're both on Demir, and I gotta say, one of them is like, okay, you know, you can tell the draft didn't go great, and the other
Yeah.
one's like, wow, you got everything and everything's perfect. Matt Sperling's deck is far superior here, and we're even looking at the hand here. We see a lot of good stuff.
Nuts.
Yeah, Matt has 3 Packdoll Terrors, as well as we see the last ride in play, the classic Death Shadow type creature. Matt also has Debris Beetle
Yeah.
in the splash, so Matt's really got it going on here.
Yeah, this deck looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing that I was like, okay, that's sick, is the 3 Packdoll Terrors. If he can just
Yes.
get 2 of those down and then start playing artifacts, oh boy,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
And that's how we see Lucas take one of them immediately, but Lucas did miss a land drop here, so very much needs to get something going.
16.
Or Matt's deck, which is already much better, is going to kind of have an easy time. And there is an island on top, so no matter what, you have 1. And then when you got to bin your transit
Wow.
page, that's always really brutal.
Yeah, that is rough indeed. Shepherd Archfiend ended up in the yard there from Matt, but you know what? I think we might be seeing that a little later on because he does have ways to bring things back from the graveyard as well. So
Yeah, that's terrifying.
no biggie. Back on track.
Packdoll Terror, trigger it.
And the
15 for
fact
me,
that you
19
just
for
have
you.
the last ride on the battlefield, this card seems like it's just okay. It's really good. Like, if you've ever had to play against Death Shadow in Modern, you know, it's really tough to attack that deck because you're like, okay, if I pressure you too much, now all of a sudden you got a 6/6 or you have an 8/8.
Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of want to pause around 13 and kind of attack when you can deal a ton of damage over 1 or 2 turns. In Limited, that's just not a luxury you have most of the time. So it's a vehicle for 1 mana. You get so much mileage
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
No pun intended.
Pun intended.
Pun intended, actually. There we go. I mean, yeah, pay 2 life, draw cards. I would just be jamming if I had the mana available every
Yeah,
time. So.
exactly.
Or nothing else to do, at least. So, Lucas doing a decent job gumming up the board here with his artifacts.
Got a couple of vehicles. We're max speed, so we do have a 3/3. And, you know, got a nice ability to exhaust that vehicle to make it a 4/4 draw card next turn. And we know Lucas is on a lot of spells, at least, as he's been
Trigger,
missing
exile
land
your
drops.
creature. I'm going to gain 2 life. You're going to lose 1. I go to 16. You go to 17. So you have... Or sorry,
I go to 15, you go to 16? Is that better?
I wrote really sloppy. So you went from 19 to 16. Now you go to 15.
We've all been there.
I was at 14. I gained 2. I go to 16. Sorry, I couldn't read my handwriting. Name green.
Okay,
Pass the
name
turn.
in green for the Beetle if we do find it, or maybe already have it. The old
be sweet.
Siege Rhino card. Siege Rhino car, excuse me.
Yeah. Debreetle, for short. if you'd
Debreetle,
like to,
yes,
yeah.
that's a good one.
So, artifacts continue to flow here from Matt Sperling, dinging away at Lucas's life total and padding the life total of himself too. So, you know, I don't think he's ever going to run out of gas at this point.
No, definitely not. And on top of the 3 Packdoll Terrors, we also have a Haunt the Network from Matt. So, I mean, at any point, if you get too low, that's brutal. Too bad the gaining life with Haunt the Network and the Packdoll Terror is kind of a numbo.
It's a number. I
with
mean,
the old last ride.
How,
Attack,
jeez,
exile
could you
one of
not
your
see
things.
this thing
I go to
here,
16.
Matt? No, this is very good.
Yeah.
That card's just going to sit there for the time being. He doesn't need to win with it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just start gaining a bunch of life, you can just lose life to every 3 mana you have. You can just draw a card. So Matt's got infinite value here.
Oh, back on track.
Trigger. Correct.
Nice.
Your turn.
It is just a 5/5 at this point, but yeah, if you're ever up against an aggressive deck and that lands,
Yeah, it's tough.
You can just hear your opponent die inside when that happens.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot about Matt this round, but Lucas Duchow is a phenomenal player as well.
Yeah.
Kind of made his, I wouldn't say Pro Tour debut because it wasn't his first, but jumped onto the scene in OTJ with his first Pro Tour back, top 8s immediately, really used all his value off his invite. And anybody who has played him online, Duke 1-2, I'm sure you've lost to him plenty of times, just like I have.
Yeah, excellent player. It's great to see him still, you know, putting up really good results at the subsequent Pro Tours.
Yeah, basically every standard Pro Tour that we have, or every standard event, Lucas is always at the top, definitely specializing in standard and limited, it would seem.
Yeah. So we have max speed, can start chomping on a couple things. Only 3 lands on that side of the board. Look at all the light.
I'll pay 2 life, but a 14 draw card.
Okay, that's at least a decent sign for Lucas. You know, you have a little reprieve here, at least knowing Matt's hand is not just perfect, and he's going to just use that 7 mana to get even farther ahead on the battlefield. But as it stands, Lucas is still very far behind, and it looks like Matt is able to, you know, get rid of this limited blues that he's had the last couple Pro Tours.
Hell yeah.
And that screams something very scary for the rest of the players as he eyes his sight on the top 8 here.
Absolutely. If he picks up this win here against Lucas, he'll go to 4-1, which is superb.
In limited, yeah, absolutely.
So double blocking.
It's like
Packdoll Terror trying to just limit the damage that this thing's doing.
First,
Looks like I see
oh,
bounce
yeah,
off.
So
It's like, okay, I'll put this first. Be like, nope.
Priority.
Oh, yeah. That's not a thing anymore for anyone.
Yeah.
Just, or
Kill
coming
the
back to
Rangers
Magic,
refueler.
you no longer
Eight comes
assign
through,
blockers.
Exactly, just assign damage upon going to combat damage instead of ordering blockers.
Pretty recent change. Was it the end of last year, I believe?
Yeah, pretty recent for sure.
Go.
Turn passes back. Lucas is at 1. The Packdoll Terror's off the board, but we know there's another one. Not in hand, it might be. Who knows?
And Matt did make a conscious effort here to not use that bounce off, which I'm pretty sure I saw in his hand. So just trying to, yeah, especially with being able to bounce it and then recast it would be the final drain. But you know, Matt does have the ability to just draw a card with last ride and bounce something at end step. So gonna be tough here for Lucas to not die on his next turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Packdoll Terror of Lucas's own.
11, draw a card.
Gains a life. Matt Sperling pays 2, draws off of the last ride.
And can
That's
just
a Haunt the Network.
Yeah, Haunt the Network also had the ability to just bounce the only flyer and get through for lethal. So, yeah, nice deck from Matt.
Many paths to victory there for Matt Sperling.
Yeah.
So improves his record, is sitting at 4-1 in limited, and he's going to be feeling excellent about that. So one more round of limited to go for him. I bet he would love a 5-1.
Yeah,
That
no
would be
kidding.
sweet.
5-1, and then he clearly always has it going on when it comes to constructed. So, yeah, Matt Sperling,
He's a beast.
a Hall of Famer, you know, with his eyes on another top 8. You love to see it.
Well, best of luck to our players in their final round of draft. That'll be coming up next. We're taking a short break, so we'll see you soon.